The Pope and Young Club wants to welcome you as we rally together to ensure our bow hunting opportunities for today and tomorrow. You've come to the podcast that believes in preserving, protecting, and promoting the passion for bow hunting. Join us as we strive to be the voice of today's bow hunter. This is the Pope and Young Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pope and Young Podcast. Jason Roundsville here, joined as always by my co-host Dylan Ray. And we have with us from Kings Camo, a new corporate partner. They helped us out last year in Ogden. They're coming to convention here in just a few weeks. We have Andrew Pooch, and he is the Director of Digital Marketing and E-commerce for Kings Camo. So, Andrew, welcome.
Hi, great to be here, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
We're excited. This has been something I think we've been kind of talking and talking with Kings and flirting with the idea of you guys coming on board. I think it's been about maybe like 2 or 3 years now. And we just talked to folks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Just timing wasn't right or something. So I know last year when we had that event in Ogden, you guys came out and supported us and attended, and it was a good, solid event for us. And I think it helped you guys get an idea of who we were and now stepped up in a big way as a new corporate partner. So welcome aboard, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Tell folks a little about you. So who is Andrew, and tell us about your role at Kings and just who you are as a hunter and outdoorsman.
Yeah. So, well, my path to Kings actually came from Dave King, one of the former founders. He actually just found me like through the channels of the outdoor industry and found that I was looking to get out of the role I was doing at the time, which was I was working for a charter fishing company, actually doing their marketing and their website, and also working at the lodge during the summer. And Dave came to me with this opportunity to start working at Kings. And at the time I was living in Minnesota, and he just started describing the job of what I would do. And, at the time we were a lot smaller, so there was a lot of opportunity to help out with growing this company. And I jumped at the opportunity and moved to Utah. And that was about 8 years ago now. And since then, Kings has really evolved from what it started at to where it is now. And that process kind of started when the current presidents of the company took over. And we just started this track to really like evolve all of our products to elevate it into more high performing technical gear. Because I think there's still a conception out there or a perception that Kings is like all cottons and that type of clothing. And we still offer the cottons, but we've really elevated a lot of our gear to be that technical, high performing, lightweight, like layering system type of apparel. And
it was, that was kind of what I thought. I wasn't real familiar with it. And I'm like, oh, Kings, they kind of, it's not really, they're like a camo. It's more like, because you're known for your patterns, as back in the day we're known, oh, you see it and that's King's Camo, and as much as the clothes. And so we went over and took a look at the booth, and holy smokes, man, I wound up picking up a couple pieces, and it's some great gear. I don't know, is it bad to say I was really surprised?
No, I would say it's nice that we do these opportunities where we can meet face to face with customers. Like the expo was the latest one that we did.
Yeah,
coming out to the Pope and Young convention. Hopefully, we can start to change people's perceptions, and it's actually a great response when we get people that are surprised that they had this idea of what Kings was, and then they come and they see the product, they get it in their hands, and they're genuinely surprised and impressed. And we take a lot of pride in that, because it's been a lot of work to get to this point, but we feel like we've got some really good stuff right now. So
So
glad you had that reaction.
I I bought a vest at Western, and it makes Jason mad, but I'm like, dude, this is the greatest vest I've ever worn in the history of the world.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear
I love that thing, man.
Yeah.
I wear vests 7 days a week. I like
vests too.
Pocket for my phone. I just am a vest, and I'm usually warm, so I don't need a jacket. So they're just about right until it's too warm. And then I'm ready for vest season. So when they were recruiting you to Utah, man, how was that sale? They're like, hey, come to Utah, man, where it's like 8 to 12 degrees all winter. And you're like, I'm from Minnesota. That's gonna be like a heat wave.
Here, you nailed that one. Yeah, when I got out here, it was funny too, because my first winter, I think most of the people that I was coming into contact with or was working here at Kings, and they're just like, wow, this is one of the coldest winters we've ever had. And it was like single digits. And I'm just like, wow, if this is the worst that they're having out here, this is going to be a breeze. I love this. So I don't have to deal with those negative.
He's wearing shorts. He's wearing shorts and a t-shirt out there.
I know, right?
He's like, it's single digits. Where's my vest?
Yeah, this is a breeze out here. And my wife and I, we talk every once in a while about how hard it would be to move back just after being spoiled. And it's really made us soft too, because if we ever go back, which we have during the winter, we're just like, how did we ever do this? It's it's brutal. So
our office is
we like Minnesota. Utah winters.
Yeah. So I understand. And I meet people from back there and they're like, hey, gosh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Minnesota. And I was, why? So now it's a neat area.
The thing about that too is I actually went to college up in northern Minnesota, and it was brutally cold. But like we just got used to it. We went ice fishing, snowmobiling. I mean, we didn't let it stop us going outside and everything. But yeah, it's cold. It's a different type of cold. That's for sure.
Yeah.
See, I've always just said I will live somewhere with 4 seasons, no matter where it's at. Like, I don't want it to always be cold, but I also don't want it to always be 80 degrees and sunny. Like, I want to have cold, I want to have snow, but I want to have a good summer, So I just want to live somewhere with 4 seasons. That's my only goal.
Yeah.
I was up by Spokane for a while, and it was neat. They had all 4 clear seasons, but man, I was only there for a few years, but I'm okay with shoveling snow. I feel like I've shoveled enough snow. I don't need to do that all the time. I'm okay without doing that.
Jason, you only get 1 season, rain.
It's pretty much, Oh, no, that's not true. There's the wet rain. There's the dry rain. There's the warm rain.
There's cold rain and warm rain. Yeah.
There are shades of green that can probably only be seen in maybe Western Oregon and parts of the rainforest. But it's definitely different. This year we've actually had a fair amount of snow. It's surprising. None of it I haven't had to shovel because it comes in, you get 3 or 4 inches of snow, and then it rains and melts. So it's really convenient that way. But so move to Utah. What, other than the weather, what were the other big shockers going to Utah from Minnesota?
That's an interesting question, because like I was used to moving. I was going back to Alaska back and forth every summer. And I even did a few winters in Hawaii working on boats out there. So I was used to moving. So it wasn't even moving was the easy part. I just saw it as another like adventure that I was jumping into. And really the fact that I was going to work for a hunting company, one of my passions, was just like the cherry on top too. So it was something I just really looked forward to. And it wasn't long after we moved out here that we were like, wow, this is going to turn into something long-term. And we looked for a house, and we bought a house within like 6 months of moving out here. And
how long ago was that?
That was 2016. So,
okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, I can't think of too many hurdles. I mean, my wife, she got a job right away. She's a surgery tech. So they have the need for surgery techs all the time in hospitals around here. And we moved to the valley of Salt Lake, and there's a ton of hospitals. So it was easy to find a job for her. She found one in like 2 weeks. So, no, it was good. It was easy.
Very nice. So tell us about hunting. Are you a bow hunter?
Yep. I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Last year I shot an elk with my bow, and that was probably the highlight of my hunt last year. So I shoot the Prime inline. You guys familiar with that one? With that bow? Yeah, that's a sweet shooting bow, isn't it? I see you got a bear logo in the background. I used to have a Bear Truth too. That was my first bow, and I had that bow for like 10 years. Loved that thing. And yeah, I've had a few bows in between, but yeah, I'm shooting a Prime inline right now. So we partnered with Prime last year, and they started dipping their bows in XK7, which is one of our newer abstract patterns. So had to jump at the opportunity to get one of their bows wrapped in our pattern. So
nice. A good looking pattern, I might add too.
Yeah,
a good looking pattern.
Thanks. Yeah, that's one of those other things that kind of has elevated the whole Kings brand, as we've introduced a couple abstract patterns in the last couple of years, and it's been received really well. And I think that's changing the perception too. So we're not just the stick and leaf camo anymore. We still offer it, but we have both now. So but yeah, I love bow hunting. Hoping to Utah's nice because we have over the counter elk tags that we can take up, and some are spike units, but some are any bull units. So we have an opportunity to hunt elk every year in this state if we want. And I usually do that and then try and draw some other tags to supplement my fall, but usually have the one dependable one at least in my pocket. So
that's for now. Just count your blessings while you have them.
Exactly. I know that they've been fighting.
That keeps changing.
Yeah, the wildlife board, and I've listened in on a few meetings. That's a conversation topic for sure. That the unlimited archery tag. So, I hope we can hang on to that one, because there aren't too many over the counter elk tags like that around anymore. So,
Oregon just changed that up, and so it actually just last year went to an all draw even for archery.
Okay,
and it made it interesting. I got a buddy that guides in Eastern Oregon for elk, and he's like, man, I may not have anybody draw. And it's like,
that's tough.
It's a tricky scenario for some of those guys.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of caught in the middle. I've got 8 or 9 elk points. So I'm like, okay, do I want to burn 8 or 9 points on a tag that's been over the counter my entire life?
Wow.
And so so it's tricky knowing what the right thing to do is.
Yeah.
So I don't have all of these solutions, but it sure would be nice. I was talking to one of the guys. I said, hey man, it sure would be nice if you use some of them. Like if you walk into Walmart, you want to buy stuff. I try never to go to Walmart, but if you go into a store and you want to buy something, it's like, okay, all I have is a $20 bill, and you want to buy a soda, it's $2. They give you $18 change. You use whatever you want to use, and then you get the rest back. And it would be neat if you could apply and say, hey, this year I'd like to put 2 points in to apply for this tag. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. But if you want to guarantee it, for 6 points you're guaranteed. For 2 points you're not. Something like that.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that idea before. I kind of like that concept. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because
then if you break the odds and draw, you still have points in the bank.
Yeah. And I've got a buddy who's got 20 some points. He's got max points, so he can get the tag he wants now.
Yep.
But the problem is he wants an archery elk tag, and he can't go archery elk hunting while he's guiding. So he's just sitting on this. So he hasn't been able to draw an elk tag for 20 some years. Oh, wow. And now he's just sitting on it, can't draw. And it's like, if he could, use 2 points to go get this other thing over here and still keep 23 or 24, however many. Anyway, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people listening who are yelling right now saying, no, that's a terrible idea. But I thought it was kind of convenient.
I like the conversation topic of point creep and stuff like that. It's always just something to talk about in the office. And like we're talking right now, I like hearing different ideas on how to curb that, because it is a problem. So the different solutions are always good to hear. So
putting in for 20 some years and not being able to hunt for 20 some years while you're waiting for the tag you want. that's tough. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I guess folks now, younger folks are used to that. For me, it wasn't. I mean, it used to, you used to buy a deer tag and it was either, for a while it was one deer in Oregon and then it was Eastern Oregon or Western Oregon. And now it's down to the specific zone. It's like, you see the buck of a lifetime right over that. Well, he's on the wrong side of the road. Hunted there for 35 years. Can't shoot him because he's on the wrong side. It's just, I don't know. I know they're trying to improve it.
Yeah. You bring up a good point too. A lot of people that have invested 20 years into that are going to have loud voices when it comes to changing that, because they've been waiting. And if they change that or take those hunts away, I mean, pretty controversial. So I know that's a big topic in Utah, because they talk about moving dates around or different weapon seasons, moving the dates. And it's a hot topic. So but they're trying to figure out new ideas. I think he's on mute.
Is he there on mute?
There he goes.
My take is that I really like whitetail hunting because I can hunt in Kansas, and I can jump down to Oklahoma, and then I can drive over to Missouri, then I can bump down to Arkansas, and then I can, fly out to Kentucky, and then I can hunt all these states. And you guys are like, man, I wish I had my tag,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's a luxury of those whitetails, man.
I don't know, man.
There's a lot of those things.
I was talking to somebody this past season, and he's a whitetail guide, and he was in a tree stand and had elk coming in to him, and you thought he'd have known better. But anyway, I don't know if maybe you can get by with this on whitetails, but anyway, this herd of elk was coming in, and he tried to grab his bow while they were right there, and they saw him, and he ran off 60 head of elk. And I'm just like, sometimes you have to think of elk as if you look at an elk compared to a deer, it's like they're just they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're smarter. I mean, there's more of them, there's more ears. It's just, there's a lot of things that I don't know, it's just different. I mean, sneaking up on, or
they're also just an easy target because they're so big, I mean, if you miss an elk, I mean,
yeah, but I'll tell you what, they can take arrows and lead like
that's why I shoot the small deer, because it just shows how good of a shot you are.
There you go.
That's Forkies or bust, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So no, it's fun. I like to chase them all. I like to do everything I can find. For me, it's time. There's only so many weekends.
That's right.
But for me, that's my biggest drawback. But even in the last 3 years, I think 3 years ago, you could go middle of bow season and still get an elk tag in Idaho, and still have a few to choose from. And now they're sold out the first day.
Right. They changed it to the online.
Yeah.
Open period in December. So you almost have to pick your hunt, like whether or not you're committing to it well before, the season just ended, and then you got to already be planning next fall. Yeah. So I remember that as well. I mean, wasn't too long ago. I know we did the mule deer hunt up there, and we just bought our licenses and tags on the way up to hunt.
Yeah. I did that. I shot my bull in Oregon like opening weekend one year, and so I called a buddy, and I was like, and I think Idaho opened the next weekend, so I hadn't even missed any of the Idaho. I said, hey, you want to ride up there and go hunting? He's like, absolutely. So we just hooked up the trailer and drove to Idaho and grabbed our stuff on the way. And you can't do that anymore. I mean, you can drive there, but you're not going to be hunting.
Yeah.
At least not deer or elk.
Right.
So what's your, is elk your favorite thing to hunt, or what is your favorite thing to chase?
It is. Yeah. Yep. September elk. That's what I like to do the most. So always prioritize at least one archery elk hunt every year. More than one is ideal, but got to have one. And then, like I said earlier, that Utah tag is the one I can depend on. But
Nice.
Try and rotate, surrounding states, just putting in for everything. And I'm a opportunity guy, like having a tag in my pocket. So low max points is fine with me. I just like being out there chasing them. So
nice.
Yeah. So
what's your bucket list? What's your bucket list? What's the top of the mountain?
It's a good question. I'd love to go on a sheep hunt one day. That'd be awesome. That's the lifetime animal that I'm putting in for here in Utah is my desert sheep. So that out of the 5 that we can put in for here in Utah, that's the one that I'd like to go hunt the most. So yeah.
See it. Yeah. And I think that's when I talk to sheep hunters, there's got to be something pretty special about it, or people wouldn't put the time and money and energy into doing it.
Yeah.
But then when you hear the stories of what some of these guys go through to go sheep hunting, I'm like,
yeah,
okay, get to the part when it's fun. Like, because it's like, you're literally hiking up the side of a cliff, and then sleeping on the rocks, and it just some of that stuff, and that probably all adds to the aura. But man, some of that stuff doesn't exactly sound as fun as some other things.
Yeah.
But Dylan, maybe we need a sheep hunter on here who can tell us all about that, and then explain to us why it's magical.
If you're a sheep hunter and you have a good answer as to why you do the things you do, get with us and we'll have you on.
Yeah. We like to present both sides of every philosophical.
Jason, debate. We talked a lot of trash last week on turkey hunters. So let's throw out that same challenge too. If you're a turkey hunter and you can explain to us the massive appeal for shooting a bird.
Did Luke call us?
He did not yet. Not yet.
Hear from Luke Combs?
Nope.
Okay, Luke, if you're listening, man, A, thanks for listening. Thanks to everybody for listening. And then B, Luke, give us a call. Let's have you on. We want to hear about, turkey hunting. Is it your favorite because there's nothing else to do then, or is it your favorite because it's your favorite? That's a philosophical question. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big deal. Turkeys are ramping up right now. So
yeah,
I know it opens here in Utah in a month. So we're already starting to talk about it and get stuff in. And yeah.
But answer this, Andrew.
Okay.
If turkey season was in the fall, you would never choose to go on a turkey hunt.
I've heard that before. That's a good thing to bring up. Boy, I don't know. I probably personally would not. I would chase, elk or deer, but there's probably some turkey guys out there that are that hardcore about it that might want to do that more.
See, but the hardcore turkey guys that I know are just as much hardcore whitetail guys. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me their seasons overlap and you're choosing a bird over a whitetail or an elk or a sheep or, you name it. You're choosing to go on a bird hunt over a big game hunt? No, I don't think so.
Right. No, luckily we have that going in the springtime.
Okay, let's not.
We wouldn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah, Dylan, turkey hunting ain't bird hunting because you only get one.
It's still just a bird is what I mean.
When I'm going bird hunting, man, I'm especially in the spring, man, it's 50 a day. And some places there's no limit. You just go and fill up pickup trucks full of game.
Dude, I've got buddies and they're like, oh, I shot 13 birds this year in 13 states. I'm like, why?
Wow. That's quite the turkey trail there. Wow.
Like no matter where you go, it's just a bird. Like if I travel somewhere, it's usually to hunt something I can't hunt here. It's not like I'm going to, you know what I mean? I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, I think that sums it up right there. He just doesn't know.
We need a turkey hunter on. We need somebody who can say, this is why we're addicted. This is why we choose. I
would turkey hunt over anything.
Yeah. If you're out there and you would say, I would turkey hunt over anything else, call us.
Okay. Yeah, that's, I don't know. It's interesting. I still, but hey, here's the cool thing is the prime time for turkeys is in the spring when there's just not a lot of other stuff rolling.
Right.
Except spring bear or hogs.
Well, not everybody has hogs. You can travel. How far are you willing to travel for hogs?
Well, listen, I can either I can make the decision to shoot one bird, or I can make the decision to drive down to Oklahoma or Texas and shoot 20 pigs in a weekend. I mean, that's an easy decision for me.
So you shot 20 pigs in a weekend with your bow?
100%. Yeah. Not my bow. I didn't say that.
Oh.
Usually what happens is I take my bow, I'll shoot a couple,
right?
And then we just go to thermal hunting and just smoking 50, 60 a night. And that's where it's fun. You bow hunt in the day, kill a couple, and then you thermal hunt at night and just, it's like a stinking massacre.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to remember, did we shoot 7 over there that we need to go get, or did we shoot 4 over here or was it 17 on that side of the creek and 12 over here? And that's when it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to do that once down in Texas, and I had this 300 blackout that I put together, real nice upper end, had good optics on it, and it was ready to go. And then I was talking to the buddy I was going with, and he says, I said, should I be taking my own gear or just you? And he's like, the guy owns like 250,000 acre ranches. He's like, wow. Do you really think you're going to have stuff he doesn't have? And I'm like, oh man, that's a good point. And so I left my really nice high dollar stuff home and flew to Texas. And when he's showing us, and this guy, when he hunted with us, had some beautiful, like high dollar over and under shotguns. And then he breaks out his pig guns, and it's like Walmart. It's like, dude, that's oh no, it was not good. And so I'm up in the helicopter trying to chase.
You hate
pigs.
Walmart. That's what I've come to find out. You just hate Walmart.
Yeah. And all of a sudden the battery goes out in the optic, and I'm like, dude, I'm literally in a helicopter trying to shoot pigs with no sights. It was still fun, but that was the last time I didn't bring my own gear on any kind of outdoor excursion. So
yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a question on camo.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You mentioned not just stick and leaf anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be cool to listen to somebody who's in the camo industry, because my grandparents, my grandpa, my great grandpa, they never would have dreamed of stick and string. It was all old school, camo. And then growing up, that's all there was. You had real tree and mossy oak and stick and string, and you saw somebody wearing digital camo and you're like, what are you, in the military? Mm-hmm. And now pretty much everybody's went away from stick and string. So what do you equate kind of that evolution of camo patterns to?
Oh, that's a good question. So the evolution, I think, started with, let's start with Realtree, which is a good partner of ours. We actually license Realtree Edge on a lot of our apparel. So that's been a really good relationship for like 4 years now. But King's first pattern was Desert Shadow. And it's still a very popular pattern out here in the West. It blends in with almost any terrain. I mean, you can be in the actual low elevation desert all the way up to the high alpine, and Desert Shadow still works extremely well. But there has been a wave, and it's across the industry. I mean, our competitors mostly use abstract or digital patterns. And that's clearly a trend that we're seeing in the industry. And we felt like we could build something that also competed at that level. I think it's just become something that, it's still a functional pattern. You just need to get the color scheme right, get the breakup right. and it can be functional in any terrain. But two, people are wearing and buying pretty expensive pieces of apparel nowadays. I mean, it's across the board. Our competitors and us, we have good top of the line stuff. And when people are buying that, they're ending up wearing it in a variety of pursuits. I mean, they're hunting in it, fishing in it, wearing it as lifestyle gear, maybe even like skiing or snowboarding in it. So those pieces, it's almost like a stylish thing as well. And stick and leaf just hasn't fit that that mold, as you can see, just across like all of the other companies as well. Still a super functional pattern as far as in the field, but people just aren't wearing it as far as like a lifestyle piece as much. So I think that's where the trend has kind of evolved. And I mean, we wear that here. I mean, we wear a lot of our camo, like we'll wear it at shows, we'll wear it to work, we'll wear it, out when we're, fishing or just going out and hiking. So it's something that we wear all the time now. And I think that's just where the evolution has gone. So,
yeah.
Yes. I find it interesting. Like some people will only wear brand X and other people will only wear brand Y, and they don't even get along because they wear different kinds of clothes. And I'm like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that I have at least 2 camo patterns on at all times. Just so I
Is that right?
The same. Absolutely, man. Every time I'll have like at least an accent of something else just to be doing it.
I've always wanted to do a spoof video of like going to church wearing all your camo and being like, they say you got to wear your Sunday best. Well, listen, I don't have a suit. I don't have a suit in my closet that touches how much I spend on camo.
Exactly.
So this is my best,
No.
Yeah, I was
something to that
years ago, and people were making fun of me because I had, brand X camo on. They're like, oh, you're just, you're just all about that brand. And I said, hey man, it's comfortable. I wear it because it keeps me warm and dry. And the same guy who was razzing me got cold and had to go warm up in the truck. And I reminded him of that for days.
Yep.
You should have said, hey, would you like to borrow a vest, or I can loan you a jacket, man, if you need one.
It was one of those things where it was like you literally lost your own argument when you're going to the truck because it's so dang cold.
Yeah.
Well,
I think there's something to that as well. And that's why we've even seen, like here at Kings, there's also a trend, not only with like our new abstract patterns and people really gravitating to those, but we offer most of our like XKG series in solid colors too.
Yeah.
Because people, they want the high performing, the gear is what they're looking for. And then, they'll choose a pattern or a solid from there. But it's really the gear, to hold up in conditions that you're talking about. You don't want your gear to fail at all while you're out on a hunt, because that's the first thing that'll ruin your hunt is what you're wearing. So
that's also this new, going back to trends, and, used to people were camo head to toe. And if you weren't wearing camo socks, even, and now you have this trend of solids and everybody's wearing solids. And, so that's another trend that's, kind of interesting to watch, of like people, turning completely away from what they've always done their whole lives to wear solids.
Yep. It's spinning back to the Wranglers and the red flannel days, basically. Yeah. It's just going full circle.
Which is cool.
The one that just blows my mind is you'll see pictures online, and there'll be like a 11-year-old kid wearing solid head to toe top quality gear. And it's like that kid's worth like $3,000 right there.
And he's going to grow out of it in a year. He's only going to get to wear it for a year.
I'm like, when I was that age, I'd like a $30 jacket and whatever hand-me-downs I could get, fit into from dad. I mean, everything I had with me, including my guns, didn't add up to what they have just in. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, wow. And for me, I was jealous as heck because I didn't have any of that stuff back in the day. Yeah. And then B, you just wonder, it's like, man, if you make it that easy for them, is that a good thing to get the kids really interested, or are you setting them up for, man, I'm telling you, I've been out there. There's been times where I couldn't feel my feet. And dad's like, hey, you want to go? And I'm like, not until we get 2 more birds or whatever, not until we get whatever we're after.
Yeah.
And I remember climbing through the brush looking for, gosh, I think it was mountain. Man, I was soaked so far. I was wearing jeans and just whatever I had with me. And I could not, had I jumped in the water, I couldn't have gotten any wetter. Like just literally digging through the ferns and brush looking for these mountain quail. And those are experiences that, man, I don't know. Are folks going to miss that or not? Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That sounds pretty brutal.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
As a dad who tries to get his kids in the outdoors as much as possible, I've seen my son's 4. I've seen him sit in a blind and shiver, but he's seeing deer, so he's having fun. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
But if I keep him more comfortable, then when we're not seeing deer, he's not ready to go. I've had times where he's not comfortable, and if there's not deer directly in front of him, he's like, Dad, I want to go. Man, it's cold, it's wet. This sucks. But if I keep him comfortable, then in the times where the hunting sucks, he's okay to stay longer for it to get good again. So Jason, you're probably right. Our culture is just a lot softer now. Like we're just creating a culture of soft kids. But as a dad who wants his son to not think, man, that sucked. Like I was brutally cold and wet and we didn't even see any deer. I don't want him to get that negative taste in his mouth and be like, nah, Dad, I don't want to go this time, man. Last time it wasn't fun. It was brutal last time.
See, and I understand that and I appreciate that. And I get that side of things, but I also can remember when I was there, when I'm 10 years old, freezing my tail off out in the blind. And all of a sudden, I mean, I look at the jacket that I had then, it wasn't even insulated. I'm out there and I wore it because it was the only camo jacket I had. And you look at this and it's like, we went out there and this particular hunt, I was frozen and I shot 1 duck. Now that was my first duck. I still have that duck on the wall in my gun room. But you look at it, I was frozen and I shot a duck and I'm like, hey, can we do this again tomorrow? And it was miserable. So I don't know. Maybe it's the same, only they're just not miserable. Maybe they're all just as excited, only warm and comfortable.
Now I'm going to go back to my whole, you're a duck hunter and duck hunters just, they're wired different. They're a little bit twisted up in the head. So
yeah,
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. That sounds like a dream day, duck hunting.
Yeah. Duck hunters more than anybody can be like, dude, that was the worst thing ever. Can't wait to go back. Like,
right. See, maybe that's it. Cause I've done some man, back in the day, I did stuff to kill ducks that I wouldn't even, man, it was so much work. I wouldn't even want to watch somebody do that now. Like tidal mud flats and like sliding boats 200 yards across the mud to get in a back channel. And then I'm like, yeah, that's just too much work. But maybe that's like sheep hunting.
Yeah, maybe so.
Could be.
So I don't know. I haven't been sheep hunting. Maybe we need to go sheep hunting, Dylan.
Let's do it.
All right. Actually, I guess I shouldn't say I've never been sheep hunting. I have shot a Dall sheep. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts for sure.
In Texas?
Oh, it's a Dall? I don't know if that's the same Dall.
A Texas Dall. That's what they're called, huh? Texas Dall. So yeah. And I'm not even going to make a comment about sheep hunting when that's the only experience that I've had sheep hunting.
Right.
So
probably smart.
Yeah. That's like the difference between, like going to culinary school for 4 years and like going to a McDonald's drive-through. That's like how those two equate, I think.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, here's I'll tell you what, Andrew, here's a question for you. We've got our convention raffle rolling right now. And we have 4 prizes. We like to ask everybody because we're interested to see what everybody's into. So here's your 4 prizes.
Okay.
Whoever wins has to pick one of these. And I mean, we're going to make somebody's decade when they win this thing. And then we're going to crush them because they're going to have to pick from these 4 amazing trips. So now you have to tell us which one you'd pick.
Okay. Let's hear them.
Option A, Yukon Moose.
Okay. Option
B is Mountain Goat Brown Bear combo. Option C is in South Africa. It is a lion, Cape Buffalo, eland, crocodile, lioness combo. And option 4 is Dall sheep, brown bear, caribou, and black bear.
Wow. I'll take the last one.
The last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds awesome.
It does. They all sound awesome.
Yeah, they do. I shouldn't say it like that, but yeah, that one really jumped out to me.
That last one just so happens to be with Steve Perrins at Perrins Rainy Pass Lodge.
Rainy Pass Lodge, I know.
The oldest lodge in Alaska. So
is that right? Wow.
As if the hunt couldn't get any better.
I know.
Let's go ahead and throw that in there.
Yeah, they all sound awesome. That one jumped out to me. I mean, you could have stopped at Dall sheep for me, and I was in. So
yeah,
he was hooked. Those 3
and
other
it's not
animals, a Texas Dall sheep
like,
either.
Wow, right? Yeah,
it's not even in Texas.
Yeah, this was a real
yeah. You know, there's not a bad hunt on that list, and it's surprising how varied people are with what they are interested in. And because when we put this together originally, I thought that 90% of the people would lean towards that Perrin, the Rainy Pass Lodge hunt.
Yeah.
And it's a phenomenal hunt. But a lot of folks have said Yukon moose. And, for me, the African one is intriguing just because some of those are species I never thought really a lion was never on my list. And then you start talking about it and it's like, man, I can't afford a lion, but if I want it, then maybe I could afford it. I mean, it just, I don't know. There's a lot of great choices there. I can't wait to make somebody's year.
Yeah.
When we, and then the other one.
So how does that work then with that? You're drawing one person and they pick 4, or are you drawing 4 winners and they just pick in line? First person.
We're drawing one winner and they get their choice of those 4 hunts.
Wow. That's cool.
And it's a limited number of tickets. So I'm pretty proud of that. Yeah. We've got, we put together a raffle and a lot of these, when you see them, they're open-ended tickets. I mean, they're $100, which that's, a kind of a pricey raffle ticket, but at the same time, you're winning a $60,000 trip.
Yeah. And if you said 1,500, right? So, I mean, that's, and is it limit 1 per person?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So, wow, you could really get some good odds there then.
You can go buy them all if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, it's interesting. I mean, as I'm going to the shows, there's a lot of different raffles going, the Idaho Wild Sheep Foundation has a raffle and these guys have a raffle. We had the best odds for a major package like that I saw anywhere this whole show season. So it was pretty nice awesome to be able to hold your head high and go, yeah, we're right in there, man. We got great options. So, all right. So you go to Rainy Pass.
Yeah.
How about you, Dylan?
Rainy Pass.
Pass. Yep. I'm still not sure. It's probably a good thing that I can't buy tickets because I don't know. I'd probably break down on stage and not be able to choose.
Yeah.
And that one, you don't have to be there to win, but I do hope they are there because that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be great to get the reaction and see them. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to have 1,000 people in the room roughly. So I'd say there's probably a 50-50 shot of having them in the room. So no, that's cool. Exciting. The other one is we got a hunt with Chuck at whitetail hunt in Oklahoma down at Liberty Ranch with Chuck Adams. You get a fully guided hunt, and you get to spend a week in camp with Chuck Adams. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Because that's something you can't buy. So pretty exciting. What if you could pick a hunt, any hunt that you want to win, what would it be?
Oh man. Well, every year at the expo, I keep putting in for those sheep tags. So like I said, a sheep tag would be what I would really like to have. And I would like to go up to Alaska or Canada to get that done. So either Doll or Stone would be an awesome one to win.
Yeah.
Sure. So
see there, all you get is just a Doll sheep hunt. Here, right. You get a Doll sheep, and a $20,000 brown bear, and a $20,000 caribou package, and a black bear.
Awesome.
We're just like, a sheep isn't enough. We want more.
Yeah.
And so all of our outfitters came up big for this one. We're pretty jazzed about it. We appreciate all of them.
Yeah.
So now the other question that we ask everybody on this show is, when you find yourself up on the mountain chasing elk or out in the woods, what is one non-traditional item that you find in your pack with you at all times?
In my pack. So when I'm out actually hunting.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Non-traditional. Man.
Can't be a knife.
Right.
It's not supposed to be binoculars, but we did let Steve Felix say his binoculars, but he did kill a world record elk. So, we bent the rules for Steve.
Yeah, but he can do what he wants. So.
Yeah, Steve does what he wants. And he's such a nice guy too. It's like, yeah, okay. You want to say that, you can say it.
Boy, non-traditional. I gotta think about that, because I don't have anything that's like a good luck charm or like anything like that I'm superstitious about. That's where my head went first, was like, man, do I carry anything that's like, it's different like that?
Well, we're gonna have lucky hats for sale in Reno at our convention.
Okay,
we're gonna have
guaranteed to be just packed full of luck.
Some of them are the new Kings pattern. So
okay, I'm gonna have to get one of those then.
So you can get a Kings.
I'm looking for a new lucky hat. I had to retire one last year because it just
there you go.
Got too burnt out with all the wear and sweat and dirt and everything.
There's something to be said about a fresh hat. I was in camp one weekend last year, and we just didn't have the mojo. The elk just weren't where we were. And I said, all right, man, that's it. Everybody's using a new hat today, fresh hat day. And I'll be darned if somebody didn't get an elk that day. So sometimes you just got to change it up. You got to have that little luck.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this answer because this is the first one that comes up in my head. So my two bosses here, they're actually the ones that we went on a hunt a few years ago, and they're the ones that kind of got me hooked on it. But coconut water. So they always have like these little, like, they make them in small, like juice box size, and they're just super good for like replenishing everything you lose when you're out hiking for the day, like getting sweaty and everything. Like coconut water just seems to replenish everything so much better and quicker than just water. So
coconut water.
Yep. Yeah. I always have one of those. I always have my hydration bladder full of water, but I always have just like a little coconut water as well. So
now I would have respected it a lot more if you just carried the whole coconut.
Yeah, right.
Crack it open right there.
And a big hatchet.
Bust that mug open and start drinking. Yeah.
So I coconut water.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking about, is are they hunting or like tree hunting? Like, are they out in the forest just wrapping their arms around?
I know. I sort of thought they were messing with me too at first, but then they swear by it and they got me on it too. And now I'm on the coconut water train too. And it's a game changer. Train. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that's really big up in Portland too.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Hey, gotta give you a little grief, man.
You can't knock it till you try it, I guess. I was skeptical.
It is a good answer. It's a new answer. I mean,
right, because that'll be
that.
Before. Like I was really digging deep to try and figure that out to see if I could come up with something that no one else is going to have. So we'll see if anyone can top that one.
Yeah, we've had a lot of snacks.
Send us a picture.
Okay,
you send us a picture from the mountain with a coconut in hand.
Oh
and
boy,
a straw.
Yeah,
then I'll be super happy.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, I should try and do that someday.
There are a few good luck charms, but I think snacks make up a majority of what people don't want to live without on the mountain.
Yeah, gotta have good
bacon
food.
To Uncrustables to everything.
Oh yeah, I'm a big peanut butter and jelly guy.
Yeah. So something I learned way later in life than I should have. Because I grew up and we took our lunch to school with us, and it was a more times than not it was a PB&J, and all of a sudden, and the jelly bleeds through the bread. Like my whole life, there is just the bread has jelly like permeated through it.
Yeah,
and I just thought that was how PB&Js are by the time you eat them.
Yeah, right.
And then a friend of mine said, "You don't ever have to deal with that again. If you put peanut butter on both pieces of bread and then put the jelly in the middle, the jelly doesn't bleed through. It's like a blocker. It's like a Gore-Tex membrane for the bread from the jelly." Yeah. I didn't know that. I learned it.
You heard it here first, folks.
Than I should.
You heard it here first, folks.
So I didn't believe it.
Genius.
I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. And do you have? I'm gonna, if you put peanut butter on both slices of bread, you have to up your jelly game to keep the ratio the same.
Oh yeah.
But when you're on the mountain, that's a good thing. So try it out. Yeah. And if I'm wrong, let us know. We want to hear from you.
And some of the places we get to on this podcast is just like, how did we get here? Talking about PBs and J's.
But
that's part of life, Dylan.
But you want to know where he learned that?
This is important stuff, man. I mean, we could dive deep. And are you creamy or are you chunky peanut butter? Like what type of jelly you using? Like, I mean, we could get real in depth with peanut butter and jelly. It's yeah. There was even a time in my life when I was using Goober. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Where it's peanut butter and jelly in the same jar, so you don't.
I don't think you're allowed to use that once you hit 11. I think you can use that.
There's an age. There's an age threshold. Yeah.
But when you get to 11, you have to be able to use 2 jars.
Okay.
It's
good.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. I thought that was the rules. It couldn't. Maybe there's not a rule on that.
Wait, is that a jar? Is that a jar of Goober back there on your shelf?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I know. I gotta hide the evidence. If we ever do a podcast again, I'm gonna strategically put one off in the corner or something and see if you guys remember that. And you can
bring it to convention.
Yeah.
We'll throw down on some Goober at convention.
Yeah.
There will be Uncrustables in our vendor lounge.
We will have Uncrustables in the vendor lounge. Dylan, and some Goober. Some
Goober.
Yeah.
We'll see if we're going to put it in there and see if anybody even opens it in a week.
That's great.
So no, it's amazing because we're all out there chasing it. We're all doing it, the way that we're doing it, or we're taught to do it, or, sometimes you switch it up because of how your buddies do things. And now all of a sudden, we get to talk to people from all over the world, see how they're doing things. And it's neat because I've picked up some tips and tricks along the way and changed the way I do things. And I'd never even heard of Uncrustables. And now I have this deep desire to have Uncrustables from time to time. Don't.
Oh, yeah.
Here's another tip that I'm going to give you straight up, Dylan. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. Do not go with the generic, quote unquote, equivalent on Uncrustables. It's either Uncrustables or they're not.
It's got to be Smuckers. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
We tried a gas station variety one time, and I was like, dude, we've been talking about, I was embarrassed. I'm like, we've been talking about this on our podcast. This is nasty. Dylan's like, oh no, these aren't real Uncrustables. We have not been talking about these. These are.
The reason why is because Smuckers keeps their Uncrustables frozen. up until the point you thawed out to eat it.
That could
Those
be
right
key.
there were just sitting out there in the gas station
Yep.
to be all warm like whenever you're at. Now they got to be Uncrustables.
That was wrong. Yeah. So anyway,
it was going back. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent right there of hunting Dall sheep in Texas.
Great call. Great callback.
So it's like gas station. It's like gas station Uncrustables and gas station sushi. That's the difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew, we sure appreciate Kings being on board. How do folks find you guys? What's your website?
Our website's kingscamo.com, and it's the same handle for like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So that's how they can find us. So yeah, we got a lot of cool things coming out this year. So I think it'd be great if everybody could, subscribe to our social media, subscribe to our email, and they'll be the first ones to see a lot of new things coming out this year. So
very cool.
If you're familiar with it, if you're not familiar with Kings Camo, take my word for it. I would highly recommend you check them out because it shocked me. I mean, it was more than a surprise. I was like, wait, I would wear this.
That's awesome.
I bought a couple things, and that was at the expo. And so it was, I think you owe it to yourself to check them out. They'll be at convention. We're super excited to have you guys there. And if you can't make it to Reno, I think we got one of their packages on the live auction Saturday. So check that out. And we appreciate the support, man. Welcome aboard. And
we're glad to be a part of it. We love what you guys are doing, and we're glad to support it. So
well, we sure appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
We'll see you in Reno.
Okay. Sounds good.